and welcome back to the Ivy Grove channel. My name is Meg and thank you so much for clicking on this video and I hope you're excited for it. If you haven't already, please do make sure that you follow us over on Instagram because this video has only happened because you guys asked these questions over on Instagram. I put a little kind of thing on our story and was like, ask away, ask all your questions, be it about songwriting, doing YouTube, how we make our covers, gigging life, all aspects to do with being a musician. So if you want to get involved in these videos, make sure that you follow us on Instagram. Before we get into the questions, make sure that if you haven't already, you give this video a little like below and you hit that subscribe button. If throughout this video you've got some more questions and you think, ooh, that's made me think about this or this, do get involved, leave us a little comment in the comment section. We absolutely love to hear your feedback, to hear your opinions on stuff, to get you involved in the conversation. So thank you so much and I hope you enjoy this video. Let's get into the questions. So question number one is, if you could co-write a song with anyone, past or present, who would you choose? So I thought this was a really great question because I liked the whole aspect of like past or present. But I'm going to go with a bit of a wishy-washy answer to start with. So I don't know if any of you have seen it, but there's a new documentary out on Disney Plus, and it was the Beatles Get Back, and it was about how they kind of created the album, and you see them collaborating together and writing the songs, and I was like, oh my word, I'd love to be in that room. But in particular with Paul McCartney, he is just a musical genius. Now obviously he's still alive, but sorry Paul, but I wouldn't want to collaborate with you now. I'd want to collaborate with you back in like the 60s and 70s. I just think to have been there, you know, Abbey Road Studios and at Apple and everything, like it would have just been so cool. So Paul McCartney is definitely up there. But I think like nowadays I'd love to do a session with like Max Martin, Bruno Mars, Mark Ronson. I'd love to write a song with Lady Gaga. There's loads of people. Yeah, absolutely loads, but there are a couple. Okay, next question. What's your favourite gig you've done to date where you wish you could go back and sing again? So I think the main one that comes to mind is back in 2015, I got the opportunity to do some backing vocals for Demi Lovato at the MTV EMA Awards at Wembley Arena in London, which was just utterly insane. Like it was all like filmed and yeah, it was mad. And to be honest, for the majority of the performance, I was just choking back the tears because I just couldn't hold it together. I was like,
they know when it's true. I don't know who I am without you. I got it back, baby. I got it back. Oh, tell me you love me.
Sadly, the only negative about that gig was we weren't mic'd. It was like a mime job. So it was me and maybe say like 20 or 30 of us, and we were making up like a choir part that was like on this track of Demi's. And I think if I could go back, I'd want to do it again, but actually like sing for real, because like we were just singing along to like a pre-recorded choir, and it was sad that it wasn't us that was creating the music. And you feel a bit of a phony like when people find that out, but I'm just being honest, like there's a lot of mime work, especially with like backing vocals and stuff, so that was definitely a highlight. Thankfully though, a couple of years after 2015, maybe this was like 2017 or 18, I got the chance to go back to Wembley and was part of this like variety show where I got like a 5-minute song and like 5 minutes of this show on my own, 2 nights at Wembley, and it was amazing. So yeah, the big arenas I would definitely love to do again. But to be honest, some of the best gigs that I've done have been the most unexpected, and sometimes they're just things like corporate events where like people are really up for it and I don't know, the vibe's great, or you're in a really interesting venue. Like we did, I remember once with like the function band that I used to perform with, we did a gig down in a basement that was converted into like a DJ like dance club. Like it was, yeah, I've done some cool stuff. So, but I think Wembley is definitely up there. Okay, next question was, what's the best tip for songwriting? So if you are interested in songwriting, I've actually done some really detailed videos. A couple of weeks back I did a songwriting challenge where I challenged myself to write a song within an hour. So if you haven't seen that, go and watch that. And also I did a like tips and tricks video, and I basically talked through like loads of ideas of how to get into songwriting and like what I do and things like that. So again, go for like the detailed videos if you haven't seen them already. I'll put a little thing here, and also I'll link them in the description below. But I guess to answer your question in this video, I'd say the first thing is something that I was told when I was younger, which is write for the bin. And I know that sounds like a weird thing to say, but basically they explained it to me that when you put too much expectation on yourself writing a song, you often don't create your best work. And so if you think to yourself, I'm just gonna write a song, and if it ends up being naff and I never use it and put it in the bin, then often when we take that kind of pressure off ourselves, we create our best work. So I guess kind of tell yourself, doesn't matter if this isn't going to be amazing, let's just go for it. Which leads me nicely onto my second tip, which I think is finish a song. It's so easy to kind of come up with like a chorus and a verse, and then you go, oh my life, I don't have a pre-chorus, or I now can't think of a bridge idea. Like, persevere, finish that song, and you can always come back to it and then refine. But I think that's really vital to like finishing songs. And then I think my third tip is give yourself some boundaries, and I found this really helped me when I was kind of building my confidence with songwriting. So firstly, kind of pick a genre, and then lyrically pick a theme. So is it going to be a love song? Is it going to be a, you know, I hate you sort of song? Or, you know, like, what's your song going to be about? What's your tempo? Like, create these boundaries where you think it's going to be this BPM, it's going to be this genre, it's going to have these three instruments as the core kind of instrumentation of the song, and sort of put some limitations on yourself. Sometimes we can have so many ideas that it's really hard to like refine and put something down on paper. So I think setting those boundaries is really, really useful. So I hope that helps. Okay, next question. I thought this one was really ballsy, and so I was like, yeah, we've got to talk about this. So someone asked, are you making any money from YouTube yet? Only in the last like couple of months, and when I say money, I mean pocket money, and I mean very small amount of pocket money. It's incredibly hard to get into YouTube, and you know, Nick and I are so passionate. We're here for the music and for the love of it. And like, obviously at some point when you get enough views and you get enough subscribers, you can make money from YouTube. And don't get me wrong, that would be lovely, because these videos do take time, and you know, to reap some kind of monetary, you know, appreciation back would be lovely. But we're not quite there yet. Like, it's coming in very, very small. And as I say, we're just focused on putting out great content for you guys and building up an amazing community for now. So, but you know, we may do in the future, so fingers crossed I can get the Ferrari. Okay, next question. Were you formally trained as a musician, and do you play any other instruments? And this was asked for Nick, so I guess I'll answer this on his behalf. So Nick, obviously, like, he's a great guitarist, and that's his like main instrument that he does. But he is a producer, so all of like, you know, the effects that you might hear on my voice and the way that the tracks are put together, Nick produces all of them from scratch every single week. We do not use like pre-made backing tracks. Nick creates the tracks, and so therefore he has to have an ability to kind of play other things. So I don't want to speak on his behalf. I don't know how many instruments he plays or that sort of thing, but obviously he's very skilled in other instrumentation other than just guitar. And then formally trained, yes, he was. So it's really weird actually. Nick's quite, he'll kill me for this, he's a little bit older than me, but strangely we actually both ended up going to the same like college, university, and we both went to the Academy of Contemporary Music in Guildford, which is in Surrey in the UK. And I loved it there, Nick loved it there, it kind of set both of our careers going. But yeah, weirdly, we weren't in the same year, we were like several years apart, but we both trained at the same place and we've both got degrees in music. Okay, most embarrassing moment when gigging. Do you know what? I wouldn't say that I've had like many embarrassing moments when I'm gigging. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like sometimes you'll get like a brain fart and you'll forget a lyric, or you might do like the occasional voice break. Like, yeah, that's embarrassing. But I wouldn't say it was like soul destroying, like it was like, oh. I think actually sometimes some of the most embarrassing moments are like what your crowd does. So obviously me and Nick have spoken about this before, but like we have done like the whole like wedding band thing over the years, and the things that you see at some of these events, like you just wouldn't believe. We've had people doing break dancing on the floor and their like suit trousers just completely splitting, and body parts that should not be seen falling out of said trousers. We've seen that. That's pretty embarrassing to watch. Again, we've seen other body parts from females. That was also interesting. But yeah, in terms of like, I've never fallen off the stage, touch wood, yet, or anything like that, but I'm sure it'll come at some point and I'll be mortified. The next question, which is like super flattering, is there any genre you can't sing? Thank you. Obviously I really like pop music, and I'm good at being versatile kind of within pop music, so something's a little bit rocky like Miley Cyrus, or I don't know, something's a bit more jazzy like Amy Winehouse, I can do that, and I can sort of like make myself versatile, and I've learnt skills to do that. But there are definitely genres that I can't sing. Opera, I would be absolutely crap at. Metal or like heavy rock, no. Like I think maybe like mainstream music, I'm pretty versatile, I can sing it, but anything that involves like further skill, like screaming or opera, like it's skilled for a reason, so no, I cannot sing every genre. Okay, we've got a couple more. Is there, and again this is another money one, is there money to be made in the industry if you're not really famous, or do you just do it for the love? So this, I thought this was really interesting because over the years I have been asked things like, say for example I was at a gig, or you know, again like a wedding gig or whatever, people would come up to you and say, oh, you're fantastic, and what do you do for a day job? And I'll go, this, like I'm a musician, like I do multiple different things, and people will sometimes find it hard to believe. And you know, I feel like I've got to a point where like I'm really successful with my career, but I'm definitely not famous. And so that pretty much answers your question, is if you were valuing success or money or whatever you like, no, you don't need to be famous. Like you can make money from music without any of that, which is lovely because I'm actually not sure if I'd want to be famous. So, and that's a whole other topic, maybe I might do a video on that. Yes, you can make money, you can make some good money. I make mine from royalties, like songwriting royalties or performers royalties. There's two different types. Obviously gigs, you get a fee for. I've recently done a few jingles, I've earned some money from that. Obviously YouTube, eventually. Sorry if you can hear my dog barking. And yeah, there's absolutely loads of platforms. You've just got to be good at what you do, and you've got to put the effort in to try and find the work. It's never just going to come to you. But yeah, absolutely there's money to be made. Do you ever get fed up or lose heart in this business? You have to be resilient, right? 100%, for exactly the reason as I just said in the last question. Money will not come to you. Like anyone, I guess, and this is across the board for anyone who's self-employed in any, you know, field of work, you have to be self-motivated. If you don't pay your bills, you don't pay your rent, and you can't do it full time. And so yeah, 100% you've got to be resilient. And you know, sometimes I think even with this channel I think, oh, why are we not getting more views, or you know, why aren't my songs getting more plays or things like that, and you can't take it personally. You just think my time will come. I'm just going to keep going and keep working at what I know that I was born to do. So yeah, 100% you've got to be resilient. So that brings us to the end of the video. I really hope you've enjoyed this. Just a little bit of fun, just to kind of get to know me a little bit more, and, you know, ask whatever, you know, you want to be nosy about and maybe always wanted to know. So thank you so much if you submitted a question. I'm sorry if I didn't answer yours. We'll do this again soon. They're fun. I love doing this. I love just drinking tea and chatting, to be honest. Anyway, thanks again. Make sure you subscribe. We'll be back again next week with another cover, and we've got some really juicy, amazing collaborations happening soon as well. So keep your eyes peeled. Every Sunday, 7 PM, you know where we are. Come on, 7 PM, be here. And I'll see you again soon, guys. Thank you so much for all the support. Mwah. See you on the next one. Bye.